Hey, what's up, viewers and subscribers? Kermit the Frog here, showing you some of my latest work. It's been about a month since I've last streamed, and I've touched up all the ships in the mod, and I do mean all the ships. I've had to go back through, reposition the ships so that they could be spawned using the ship summon, so they don't have issues landing in certain places. Um, Things like that. They still do land underground if you initiate a landing at a low altitude or a very fast speed. So just a heads up there. If you do land below surface, try to reposition and move your ship before exiting, because otherwise you'll probably exit underground. So here's an Astroman, is what I call this. This is homage to Heavy Metal, the movie. This became very popular shortly after the Starman launch. Uh, Players were comparing the Starman launch to the launch of this Corvette out of its ship and down onto Earth. Because we don't have animations for this, I can't make parachutes pop out, but I don't know if I'd really want to anyways. It does have the vanilla astronaut sitting in the cockpit. I had to reposition and rearrange him to fit right. But kind of a homage to Starman and Heavy Metal all at the same time. Here's one of the vanilla ships that I've added. This is the Holocom. This one actually does have some working animations. When it takes off, you'll see the engines will rotate backwards, just like the exotic ships do. This is the Trident. This is might be new in 3.0, but I think it's in 2.0. Yeah, it's in 2.0. Here we got the Puddle Jumper and a Corsair, kind of a cartoon version. And if you don't like the cartoon version, sorry. There's 63 other ships. Hopefully you can enjoy one of them. Here's the Puddle Jumper from Stargate. It's a pretty simple mod, or a pretty simple ship, I should say. And coming in is one of my new favorites, the second vanilla ship. This one I call the HGX, and sitting next to it is the Cobra. This is Cobra, kind of like Elite Dangerous, I guess. I don't know. I haven't played the game myself, so maybe somebody can tell me yay or nay. This is the HGX. This is constructed from vanilla scenes. The cockpit and nose are an unused asset that were mapped to just a Fong material. I actually had to improvise. That's why it has this odd stone, concrete, metal looking hull. But this is definitely my favorite vanilla creation. And that includes the ship that's named after myself. Here we got the Battlestar Galactic 7, the Mark 7. This is the Viper Mark 7. They do come with procedural color glow effects. They're more noticeable at night, obviously. During the day, you can barely tell they're there. This is the Reaper. This is the non-FX version of the Reaper. Fairly vanilla. Some added rotations and effects in the back. And we have the Nimbus 2000. The Nimbus, like I expected, a lot of people don't like it. There are a couple Harry Potter fans out there that do enjoy it. It's actually pretty big in China or Japan, looking at some of the articles that I've seen for MorShips. But I've moved it over to a non-ship file that in the mod it will have the frequency of a exotic royal squid ship, so you won't see them very often. And this is the X-Wing, or one of the X-Wings. There's 8 different skins for the X-Wing, and that's one of them. We got my UFO. This was created from 3 different models, including a vanilla asset, which is where the top and the bubbles come from. The little alien came in the tower with the cockpit and everything. That came from a different model that is not vanilla asset, and he was too cute to get rid of, so sorry if you feel he doesn't fit the game. But a few of the ships in this actually have pilots that don't quite fit the game. And this bright, shiny ship is the Luminaris. It has plenty of rotational pieces, lots of eye candy. This is definitely a visual ship. And Head Art, hello, welcome to the stream. Good to see you again. I think it's been a month or so. And we're still in the first system taking a look at ships. We got some more of the same. And we got the Nimbus 2000, the Reaper non-FX. Again, there is a procedural file for 8 different ships that aren't really ships, including the Nimbus. And some of you probably just got excited seeing the Pelican. That is a new addition in version 3, and the glow effects are procedurally colored, but the rest of the ship is static. Over here we have the X-17 Viper. The windshield does come in procedural colors, but the rest of the ship is the same static color. Looks like I need to make the Pelican a little bit bigger. I'm going to put a note next to that. And here's the Astroman again. This is another one of those ships in that non-ship rare file. So it'll have the frequency of an exotic ship. You're not going to see too many of these. And they do come in different colors too, so good luck finding the one you want.
I was telling another No Man's Sky streamer about your work on this mod, and he said, "Oh, do you need?"
Can I read? Either read it or.
I was. I thought you could hear me. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I can hear you. The mic can't.
Oh, my bad.
Arthead says, I was telling another No Man's Sky streamer about my work on this mod, and he said, asked me by name. Awesome. That is great to hear. A lot of the time, Rayrod gets a lot of credit for the ships because they're also in his overhaul. Players ask him about how to import ships and what it takes, and they've even delivered requests to him, and he's done some vanilla ships, Not like the HGX or the Kremet or the Holocom, but he's put the E3 freighter back in. He's taken a Sentinel fighter and the Sentinel drones and made them flyable. He's made the pre-order ships available. So he's done stuff with the vanilla ships, um, but not so much with Blender or custom work. So it's nice to hear that people actually associate MorShips with me. Yay. Alright. Oh, the Holocom. The Holocom, although it has exotic features, is a normal ship. It uses the Holo HUD, which in version 3 I am going to have a alternate pack to basically give the ships a canopy fighter cockpit instead of the Holo HUD, because it's my understanding some players don't want to be forced to have the Holo HUD, and I want players to be able to enjoy all the ships. I don't want them to have to exclude a dozen or two ships because of a cockpit that they don't like. The Starman actually uses the astronaut from the game files. This is what we're supposed to look like, I guess. That's what I've always understood it. Not really sure why Hello Games has the asset in there. They've had it in there since Foundation at least, and they've never bothered using it. I reposition the hand and this so it's on the steering wheel and the shifter, and he's ready for a Sunday cruise. And I think we're ready to move on to the next system. I probably should have purchased myself an HGX so I could fly one of the new ships. And we'll go to this G8 system. And that is a very cool effect. And the space fog taking on the different colors. And that's actually the sun behind it making that. That's cool. Let's find out where trade station is. Oh, I wanted to go towards the sun. Oh, targeted the Rick and Morty ship. Come here, Rick. Mr. Sanchez, I just want to take a picture. Ah, I gotta be on the shuttle. That sucks. Oh well, I got my chat log in that, so not really a screenshot we're saving anyways. Go over here to this ugly yellow planet. just gonna cross some things off my list while I'm flying here real quick. Some of the stuff we've seen already. And there's the Starman right off the bat. Again, the mod that I made for testing purposes has the frequency of these non-ships turned up, so they're a lot more frequent. But this will actually have a very rare frequency. This will be about as common as an exotic ship. And even at that point, it shares the procedural file with 7 other ships, including the Astroman and the Nimbus that we saw in the last system. We already saw the Luminarians, and we got an F-18 Hornet over here, along with the Phoenix. This is a new addition in version 3, as well as the Hornet. Put on a nice mesh screen to make that visual effect really stand out. And this is actually one of the first ships I did that mesh trick with, and I might pick that up and use it more often. But that was hidden in the game files. I don't know why I haven't found it before. Probably because it shared the same name with one in another folder. And so my cached files kept showing me the drone I already was working with. So here's the Hornet again. Pretty simple. And the Luminari ship coming back in again. I think I forgot to cross that one off, so let me do that real quick. Wow, we got a lot of different color Phoenixes in this system. Phoenixes? What is the plural of Phoenix? Phenai? So another thing you may notice is I've only got my ships in the game right now. We're not seeing any vanilla ships coming in, and that's actually one of the pack files that I'll be including in the version 3. Since there's 64 ships to search for, adding them in with vanilla makes that search a lot more in depth. So for those that want to alleviate the searching, make it a little bit quicker, there's a pack that will help you remove the vanilla ships, so it's only the custom ships. And once you've acquired the ship you want, if you want to switch back to the regular pack that includes the vanilla ships, then you're free to do so. Now, here's the Voot Cruiser. Any Invader Zim fan should recognize this one. It's indestructible and impervious only to bumblebees. So there's the Tristan. The Tristan came out of EVE Online. This is another ship that has the Hollow HUD mod. And again, because some players don't care for the Hollow HUD, I'm actually gonna make an alternate so players can have the fighter cockpit, the normal round canopy cockpit. But to show you guys the Hollow HUD, this is one of the main reasons why a lot of people don't like it, is the screens are positioned so that they don't sit right on the screen when you're stationary. But when you're flying, they're there. You can actually make use of them. Once you actually hit your shift key or your thrusters, I mean, they squeeze in even further, and you can actually see a border around them. So I've done my best with positioning those screens. The space map, all those little dots that you see, that's the space map radar that would be down in the lower center of the screen, showing you where the planets and the space station and the freighters and all that good stuff would be. I actually have that blown up, and we're sitting center in it, so the icons will come up as the object comes up. Let me find the space station. There we go. And as far as ships go, it has a custom ship blip icon that actually comes up fairly close to the ship's location, as long as the ship is in front of you. If the ship is behind you, you're gonna have to fly around to find them, but target them and follow your arrows. And I actually don't want to go in. I just want to find a ship. Be nice if I could find a freighter. Ooh, I hear him. Where'd you go? Where are you at? There you are. Let's get the cops on us. This is creative mode, so this should be nice and easy. No challenge at all. Just overheated weapons. Really? I didn't even get a star yet? Whose freighter do you have to destroy to get the cops? You know what? I wonder, maybe, can I not do this in creative mode? I thought I could. Oh, I'm being fired upon. Ooh, take that. Alright, so I got a ship off in the distance. A few ships. There's the idea of what the ship blips look like in relation to the actual ships. Come on. Standing with Gek is decreased. The Gek are gonna hate me by the end of this. why am I not getting any police? Yeah, Airhead, sorry for the late response. I just realized what you were saying, and I think you're right. I think Phoenix is the plural. Like deer is the plural for deer, or moose is the plural for moose. Ooh, a little bit of a lag spike there. The nuke. Alright, so I guess in creative mode I can't get heat levels anymore. I thought you could. I'm just reloading because yeah, that was a waste of time. Well, not a complete waste of time. I mean, you did get to see the hollow HUD. And I got to see a few more ships in this system that we haven't seen yet. So, like this one, part of the non-ship rare procedural file is Nuke. This is in homage of Dr. Strangelove. It's an old movie where the cowboy rides the bomb from the plane all the way down to the surface and supposedly dies in the explosion. I made changes to the bomb itself because it was the Fat Man model, and I want it to be known that this is in homage of Dr. Strangelove and not the events at Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Yeah. Bear with me. It's late. I'm tired, and my speech has been impaired as a result of it. And there we have the Reaper non-effects. Very similar to the Phoenix, but the Phoenix has a different cockpit in the center. Doesn't have the fins on the back. The rear ends are built differently. And here we have the R-Wing. I believe this one's from Star Fox. I just really like the design of the ship, and once somebody made a request for it, it got bumped up on the priority list. And incoming is Miku's space capsule. Kind of wanted a Jetsons theme type deal, so this is what I found and we went with. It's got a anime livery, never pronounced that word right, and it's got a chippy Miku as pilot. And up here, sitting next to Miku, we have the YT 2400. which is Dash Rendar's ship. And this actually does share the same cockpit as the Millennium Falcon to try and give it a little bit more of a immersive feel. And this beast over here is, I believe it's from Final Fantasy 12. It's the Strahl, or the Mobius Strahl is what I call it, because I think it comes from Final Fantasy 12, which is called Mobius, and it's the Strahl, so yeah. Wow, nothing. Alright, there we go. We got the Voot Cruiser and the TIE Fighter. And Hornet. And more of what we've already seen. Hey, it's Ambassador Spock. Sorry for that annoyance there, guys. It's not easy to scan them. I don't know, I wanted that challenge. But that is Spock's jellyfish from Star Trek. We got the TIE Fighter. Very tall, very big ship. The Voot Cruisers, I think a little oversized, but I think some players will probably like that. And as Anthead pointed out, it does have Gurr in the passenger seat, waving hello. Or maybe he's pushing buttons and being mischievous. Who knows? Probably pushing buttons and being mischievous. And the jellyfish. This was added in version 2, and it's still one of my favorites. The counter rotation on the propeller, or the wings, the visual effects inside the engine compartment. This is actually one of my favorites, and let's buy it and take it for a flight. I gave it the scientific hull, or scientific cockpit, because it has a round canopy, scientific looking front, and Spock is Vulcan, so that's only fitting. Well, half Vulcan, but still. Show you the engine effects as I was talking about. Concentrate right in the center of that engine and spit out the back, and giving it that finalized look. let's go on to a new system. Not going to be able to jump very far or go to much because I didn't install anything. Ooh, a purple planet. Very nice. Can't do nothing to get a star. All I want is a wanted level. And incoming is the first vanilla asset Frankenstein that I created. I call this one the Kremet. It's got a cockpit that's in the game files, but we haven't seen. I duplicated the gun that was on the front. I mirrored it because it only had one on the port side. The hull itself was fairly plain, so I added the emblems and the wings from an exotic ship. That's actually the top vertical wing on some of the exotics, and mirrored that on both sides. Took the hauler wings and flipped them over, squished them down, and made some custom wings. Took a freighter hull, shrunk that down to make the body, and put some dropship intakes on the sides to give it a little bit more of a overall touch. And then it's got freighter engines on the back, kind of paired together like the B-1 bomber or the Concorde. Here we have the Starman again, and again he's in purple. Here's the Max Delta. This one kind of reminds me of a Formula One inspired spaceship. And they do come in procedural colors. This one's purple. And this is the Make 2, or I'm sorry, the Mark II Viper from Battlestar Galactica. I said I'm tired, it's late, I'm slurring my words. Stumbling on my marbles. Okay. And let me freeze this. No. Fail. But there's one. This is the Spectre. This was modeled from a Keyblade glider design that I got really creative with. This also features the Hollow HUD mod. So like I said, I'm gonna include a alternate pack so players can remove the Hollow HUD if they want. This is the Intergalactic Space Station, or Starship. Intergalactic Starship. I just call it the IGSS. It does come in different colors. Again, this one just happens to be purple. I believe that one has the normal fighter canopy cockpit. There's a site that wouldn't really happen. Invader parked right next to Dasher Indoor. I don't know, would it? So this is the advanced TIE Fighter, or Darth Vader's TIE Fighter. The TIE Fighters, all three of them, the TIE Interceptor, the TIE Fighter, and the advanced TIE Fighter, all share a custom TIE Fighter cockpit. And those are terrible stats. If this one has anything better, we might take a look at that cockpit. Nope. What about this one over here? Please don't take off. Thank you. Oh, wow. Stats are worse and worse. So we got the Max Delta and the Kremet. The advanced TIE Fighter. Not much else. So the Kremet and the HGX actually have functional landing gear, just like the Night Stalker, which we have not yet seen. And they actually have the functional vanilla landing gear. Looks like we've got the Astro Man, and this is the Evil Gravity. And this is one we have not seen yet tonight. It does come in procedural colors, or at least the glow effects come in procedural colors. And it does have the hollow HUD cockpit as well, because it looks like a drone ship. It has no visual exterior cockpit. This is the Ribbon Comet. This was something I wanted to play with, the wavy materials, the displacement materials, and I guess it was a magic skill from some other game, or I'm not sure which, and somebody extracted it and put it up on Sketchfab, so I was able to grab it and use it. I call this one the Ribbit Comet, the Ribbon Comet, because it kind of looks like a comet made of ribbons, especially when it's flying and it has its jet trail behind it. We got a Reaper coming in, but it's a regular Reaper, non-FX. So we've already seen that one. Why does it have to be nighttime on this planet? It's putting me to sleep. Red dots. Red dots everywhere. Gotta make money. Make money. Nope. Still trying to find the TIE fighter with some good stats. And then we can take a ride and see the cockpit. Yeah, my luck, this one's gonna be like B class. Which, with the crispy mod, that's actually pretty bad. Alright, 357, I can live with that. And here's the TIE Fighter cockpit. Again, just like the Hollow HUD, you're not going to see the screens until you actually take off. In this case, until you actually use your thrusters and build a decent amount of speed, you're not going to see the good portion of the screens. You know, down here, your timer, your ship view. Up above, you've got your weapon selection. But I've done my best to try and give visibility while still providing somewhere for the screens to sit while keeping the integrity of the model. It's a tricky task. I did my best. And off we go to another system. I've installed all my warp drives, so I should be able to get a few thousand range. And we'll go to this nice O2 system. Ooh, some pretty blue balls. Yep. Whoever knew blue balls would be pretty. And it's going to send me to the ugliest planet in the system, of course. And so that's the TIE Fighter cockpit. And immediately upon landing, see a couple new ships that we haven't seen yet. One coming in for a landing is the Griffin. Has a procedurally colored Tron frame, for a lack of better words. The big boy. This is the Cylon Radar. Cylon Raider. I can say it in my head. This is also from Battlestar Galactica. Haha, I said Galactica that time. Welcome back, baby. You heard me say red dot and you came running. Is this all Griffin and Cylon Raiders here? I mean, wow. The Cylons have taken over the system. Oh wait, we got a Trident. We saw one of these in the first system in the stream, but there was so much going on at the time I didn't really get a chance to take a look at it. They do come in procedural colors. The camo will match the glow effects in most cases. There is a rare skin where it's a solid hunter green camo, and the Tron frame can be almost any color. And here we have it's called the Bubble Ship in my mod, but it was inspired by the time machine from Meet the Robinsons that Goob steals from the garage and goes back in time with. It's not an exact replica. Like I said, it was inspired, but the author, Robin Butler, or the artist rather, was kind enough to let me add this into No Man's Sky. And I fell. And we got the straw again. This one's in purple. I think the last one was like blue. Yeah, I can't really remember. A lot of purple in this system. A lot of purple and a lot of Cylon Raiders. Oh, I see Samus's ship blending in. Wow, that's really camo. Nah, that's camo. Samus's ship also comes in procedural colors. Both the shell and the windshield and landing gear glow come in different colors. The windshield will always match the landing gear glow, but they don't necessarily match or complement the shell all the time. So if you're looking for that yellow shell with the green windshield, you might have to look for a little bit. But it is out there. I have found it. You just got to find it yourself. And I do believe Samus's ship uses a regular fighter cockpit. The Cylon Raider, because it has no visible exterior cockpit, does use the drone, or the hollow HUD drone cockpit. This is the Baron. That is not the Iron Cross, although it looks like it. I'm not calling it the Red Baron because it comes in many different colors. So I'm just calling it the Baron. It does come in red, so good luck finding it if you want the Red Baron. And the Pelican coming in for a landing again. And this one has green effects. This also has the mesh effect. Because the solid metal face right there just looked too plain. It looked unfinished. And we see the HGX come in with functional landing gear. The ship is procedurally colored, and the inside of the propellers match the glow on top of the side engines, which match, well, supposed to match the hull color. It's got the Scientific Explorer side wings. The side wings from more Scientific Explorers. The propeller came off of a freighter asset. It was just one of the many freighters that are used for like air circulation for ventilation. The side engines actually came on the cockpit nose assembly. At the beginning of my stream I mentioned that was all one solid piece that's in the unused game assets that was mapped to a Fong material and had to be applied a custom texture. Used the single giant engine and added that to the back of the propellers, and created the vanilla ship called the HGX, which obviously is Hello Games X, or redesign. Another vanilla ship was my Kremet. And taking off is the Pfizer. And that's actually part of the original mod, version 1.0. One of my favorites as a kid growing up. This is the Trimaxian drone, named Max in Flight of the Navigator. It's got a nice chrome appearance to it, just like the movie. This one is the Trimaxian drone in supersonic mode. I do not have one for subsonic flight or stationary. This one also does have a hollow HUD because again it has no visible cockpit exterior. So you'd imagine it to be fly by camera, and so it has a hollow HUD mod or cockpit. Alright, so we got the Trimaxian drone, we got Samus's ship, we got the Baron, we got the Pfizer. Just marking off my checklist here, guys. Oh, and we got the bubble ship. So we've actually finished testing one of the new proc files for version 3. And I know the ones for version 2 work. And the ones for version 1. Because, well, I've already been through testing those before. Many, many times. And I could have just done the ships I've added in 3.0, I suppose. But in case I had any new viewers, I did want to feature the full mod and show off as many of the ships as I could. Alright, so I think we're going to try and take Samus's ship if the stats are good. They're good enough for me. Yeah, I definitely need to make the Pelican bigger. That thing doesn't even fill up the landing pad. And Samus's ship has the hollow HUD. But I guess that makes sense. It's a high-tech looking ship. And the front windshield doesn't really match anything that's a cockpit in game. So I think that's why I went with that decision. But again, I will have a mod or a optional mod to add in to replace this with a regular fighter cockpit. Okay, I'm gonna fly back to the space station so I can find one of those pretty blue planets at the beginning and see if I can find a trade station there, because that ugly yellow planet was just not doing it for me. Nope. There we go. Right, so I'm gonna just check over my checklist and see how many we found, how many we have left. So I'm definitely over 40 ships found. So we've got somewhere around 20 or so to go. We actually have 3 from the non-ship category. We're looking for a flat Earth, Argon Atom, and a Flying Magic Carpet. And then we're looking for some ships from some of the other procedural files as well. Now this is a much prettier planet. Much better. But that trade post is quite a ways away. wish our ships could keep pulse drive and like curve the atmosphere until they got where they want to go. Really hate that going up and skipping, pulse drive's interrupted, and now you got to climb and re-engage, and it gets annoying. That's a really looking pit. Really weird looking pit. Okay, I see. And I fall. The texture of the ground made it look like waves, and so it looked like a lake was underneath the water. Well, at least for me. Like I said, it's late, so I think I'm gonna be going to bed after this. Oh, come on, I almost had that. Is there anything worth it up there? Nope. Nope. Got some birds off in the distance. The Kermit. I'm starting to think we've seen everything this system has to offer us. Pelican, the Pfizer, Foot Cruiser. So I think I'm gonna go try green system now. Alright, let's see if I can get a bounty. Alright, so I definitely cannot get a heat level. At the flying magic carpet. If you look over on my right, you'll see the target icon for the flying magic icon kind of twitching. Come here, you monkey. The monkey that's flying on top of the magic carpet is actually a asset in the game files. I think Hello Games, their Dangerous Joe character, or something like that. I think the Fez monkey is a tribute or homage to that, and they've got it in the game files, so I put it in the game. Going through a few of the targets and seeing some ships that we haven't seen yet, including the swordfish. This one happens to be yellow. Why is everything stationary? And why can I not hit you? Whoa. I'm gonna load up my normal mode and see if we can see any of the ships that we haven't seen yet in that mode. Oh, there's the Yeti. Crap. I don't have the economy scanner on my normal mode, so it's going to be a little difficult to find a trade station, but I think I parked over by one, so this should make it easier. It's going to be down here. Follow the yellow brick road. Oh, that was disorienting. Painfully hot rain. I think I'm not going to be staying down here long. I'm not going to be saving my game, that's for sure. We got the Trimaxion drone, non-effects Reaper. Seen all these ships. The Hornet, the HGX, wow, shadow at night is pretty dark. is the Shuttle Type 9. Haven't seen that one yet tonight. And this is from the Star Trek series. And this has the fighter cockpit, the boxy fighter cockpit. And that was the Shuttle Type 9. And the puddle jumper again. Been a few systems since we've seen that. There's Samus, green and pink. Oh, and the landing gear glove kind of doesn't match. Okay. A peach and green. Haven't seen that one before. Pelican, why are you so small? Why are you so small? You need to be bigger. Like the TIE Fighter. Big. The TIE Fighter is this big because I'm trying to keep respect and scale. The pods between the Interceptor, the Advanced TIE Fighter, and the regular TIE Fighter are all the same size with the scale that the ships are in. If I were to make this any smaller, so it wouldn't stand so tall, then the pod capsule would actually be compromised and smaller than its counterparts. So it's that big on scale. The F-18 Hornet added a little bit of rotational parts in there just for character. I think that one's an FX. And the Night Stalker finally makes an appearance. This is the Sentinel Fighter, reskinned to all black, and red glows added for visual effect. And this actually has functional landing gear as well. Try to run over here to the Reaper FX. Hopefully it'll stick around. Oh, that's not the Reaper FX. That's just the Phoenix. And we've already seen the Phoenix. But we have not seen the USS Planet Express ship. This is the illegitimate happenings or result of Bessie getting drunk and left alone in the Federation shipyard. She got a little frisky with a ship or two, and now we got some sort of ship that uses the Professor's dark matter engines and dilithium crystals for warp drives and all this good happy stuff. I think it's probably safe to say that this is the fastest ship in No Man's Sky, lore wise, not physical numbers. Just lore and humor. And the sun's finally coming up. Still waiting for some more new ships. Cross off the ones we have seen. Now, I could have swore I saw the Yeti when we left the space station, but I haven't found the Yeti at this trade station. So at this point, it's definitely easier to count how many we have left to find than how many we have already found. We actually have about 18 ships left to find. I think I finally just saw the Tomcat. Yep. The F-14 Tomcat. Anybody that wants to be Maverick or Iceman. Or just wants to fly one of the baddest ass naval fighters in history. Recruit Ogs. Yeah, my ass. Recruit. Recruits don't get to fly. And there it is, the Yeti. Very low poly, very simple ship design. It kind of goes hand in hand with the cartoon ships that are in the game. Well, that I put in the game. But the Yeti's for fun. The whole mod's for fun. I mean, let's have fun. Okay. And I think I'm going to switch back over to creative mode and see if we can't find these other, I don't know, 16 ships or so. Because this system is pretty tapped out. lots of ships. All ones we found. Oh. There's the swordfish. And this one actually comes in red. So I'll finally be able to cross that off my list once it lands. Hey swordfish, you want to come in for a landing? Is that a pelican? Yeah. So far everything's pretty good. I just need to increase the size of the pelican. Badly. And here's the swordfish. Got some nice glow effects on the side. Some cool engine effects on the back. And that was actually a fairly popular request by several people. So I do listen to requests, but I mean, I've got to be able to find the model because I'm not the greatest artist. I'm still learning, still beginning, and it takes me a long time to make a simple model from scratch. I feel like it takes me a lot longer than it should, and maybe someday if I figure out better tricks, I'll be able to do it a little bit better. Or finish it quicker. Build them easier? I don't know, whatever. And just as I was about to take off, I see the Falcon Blue. This is the Blue Falcon, Captain Falcon ship from F-Zero. A lot of ships tossed back to some old game nostalgia. Either old game nostalgia or old film nostalgia, sci-fi nostalgia, something along those lines. But a lot of these ships have been added for fan base appeal, for lack of better words. And I wanted the green system. Nope, you don't have enough planets. You're not green. Are you? Yeah, I guess you are. Alright, so narrowing down the list a little further. What is that? It's Vader taking off. I don't know if that's a good sign. As soon as you enter the system, Vader's flying around. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, Looking for 14 more ships out of 64 ships. So I mean, so far we found 50 ships within this stream. If you're just now joining, you haven't been watching, if you want to see them, last couple of hours, they're there. Or you can stay tuned and hope you get lucky and see some more. Because while I am still searching for the other 14, it becomes more and more difficult to find the last couple, and you see more and more of the same ships quite frequently. Truthfully, I've yet to finish a stream where I've found all of my ships within the stream. Usually I have to find the ships later on my own time, outside the stream. And so far I'm seeing a lot of the same ships. We got an X-Wing that might be in a different skin than we've already seen. Samus. What is that? The Yeti. The IGSS. So this X-Wing is in a different skin than the one we saw earlier. So that's 2 skins for the X-Wings we found. Move, you birds. And by the way, this is vanilla. I'm not using Ray Rod's overhaul or any mods for ecology or anything like that. These birds are stuck there by a game glitch. So annoying, you can't spawn through the rail. You gotta stand on top of the rail just so you can spawn your ship. And so far seeing more of the same, but this is the intergalactic starship, the IGSS, with a lot of eye candy. The back end kind of reminds me of Johnny 5. Anybody see it? Johnny 5 alive. And if you don't know who Johnny 5 is, well then forget it. You're too young. I wonder if I reload, if I can get some different ships. Well, I am getting different ships, but they're still ships I've seen already. And the Spectre. This was made from a Keyblade glider. Shuttle Type 9. Couple X-Wings. The boot cruiser. And a failed jetpack attempt. Still can't believe we haven't found the Millennium Falcon. And actually, in the beginning of the stream, I was flying around showing the hollow HUD, shooting random things, and I think I had targeted the Millennium Falcon. But that's it. I've only targeted it. I can't cross it off my list until I see it land on a landing pad. I could do this in the space station, but it seems like trade stations have a higher frequency of ship activity, so I prefer to do it at the trade stations instead of the space station. Battlestar Galactica Viper Mark 7. And see, during the day, the glow effects on the back of that ship aren't terribly noticeable. And the glow effects on the front can actually be seen through with proper lighting. At night, if you use your torch or flashlight, you can definitely look through that glow, like as if it's not even there. Another Pelican, another Viper. Another bubble ship and another X-Wing. And it's time for another system. It was a pretty planet. Interesting. A purplish colored planet. I like the space look that this system has. It doesn't have the nebula gas looking effect. That's fairly common in a lot of systems. This looks more like what I would expect our immediate space to look like if we didn't have so much light reflecting off of the Earth. Interesting planet colors. A beige and a gray. is that, a light blue? Either way, it's better than red or green or yellow. And the Millennium Falcon. Right on, right on. And that's the TIE Interceptor flying around back there by the pod racer. So this system has actually got a few new ships for us to take a look at. The Millennium Falcon has its own cockpit. But I am not going to stray away from Samus's ship to show that. Sorry, guys. There are some YouTube videos out of players flying the Millennium Falcon with the cockpit view already on YouTube if you want to check that out. This is the pod racer. This was the first ship that I tried my electricity effects with. And those are procedurally colored as well. They come in many different colors. And the TIE Interceptor. The last of the TIE family on my list. Hopefully version 4 will feature more. I do have somewhere between a half and a full dozen Star Wars ships to add. That'll probably be in version 4. I can't say if version 4 is going to be out before the update, because who knows when the next update's going to be. But I am going to keep working on it, and we'll have version 4 eventually. This is the Reaper with the FX. We've seen the non-FX version a few times. This just has some more eye candy added to it. And the Rick and Morty ship came back. I really love the detail on the ship. The seats, it's got the cotton out of the tears. The gauges, you got your bar on both sides. Little stickers. Yep. Definitely a fun ship. And got another skin that we haven't seen yet for the X-Wing. So that makes 3 that we've seen now. Now again, there's 8 different skins for the X-Wing. No, that's the same skin. And we have the Strangelove bomb. This weather is brutal. Holy crap. Not only does this weather make things hard to see, but it's tasking my video card pretty significantly. So, still looking for a few more ships. Haven't seen the Falcon Flyer. We've seen the Falcon Blue, but not the Falcon Flyer. Haven't found Kershak's Hopper. That's the ship that looks like the early concept art. I believe that is the Argon model, or the AR-18 Argon Atom. That's a model that I made to try and challenge myself with orbit, or orbiting parts, I should say. And the orbiting parts of the atom obviously are the electrons. And AR-18, the Argon Atom, is a bright bluish cyan color when it's excited. So because it best matches the jet trail effects, I chose the Argon Atom instead of any other gas atom. This does have 18 protons, 22 neutrons, and 18 electrons. And they're all kind of doing their own thing. That's part of the non-ship file. That's it's got that exotic rare frequency, so you're not going to see that ship very often. Has the hollow HUD cockpit, so many players are probably going to avoid that and not even use that ship. It's just in for kicks and giggles. Also still looking for the Krant. That was also in version 1. So we're still looking for a few version 1 ships. Not much else left. We found the TIE Interceptor. We've got 4 more ships from version 3. 2 ships from version 1. Version 2 is all present and accounted for. And then we got 2 more ships in the non-ship file. The Flying Magic Carpet that we saw flying around in space. I need to see it land on a landing pad. And my flat Earth model. I don't actually believe Earth is flat. I do believe it's round-ish. But the flat Earth model was, again, a test for testing orbit, rotation, and spinning objects. And just to have some fun. That's why any of the non-ship models are in here, is just to have fun. Most of the non-ships use the hollow HUD mod or hollow HUD cockpit, simply because they're not ships. They don't have a cockpit, so we need something. And I already had the drone stuff made. Getting really close. 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9 ships left. We are in the single digits now. Okay, fine. Oh, my ship's already up here. Nice example of the HUD icons. We can see the space station is to the 9 o'clock, down and through the planet on the opposite side. That's cool. The TIE Fighter and the Millennium Falcon. Alright, had to take a screenshot of the advanced TIE Fighter following the Millennium Falcon, looking as if they were engaged. I'm going to reload before I leave the system, just make sure there's nothing else that the system might have left to offer. So we're looking for the Falcon Flyer, the Kershak Hopper, the Krant. All of those came from version 1. In version 4, we're looking for Corbin's Taxi from the Fifth Element. We're looking for the Air Pirates, cartoon pirate ship from Tailspin. And a Tecmoc and X-Ghost, which are a couple of custom ships found on Sketchfab. It does not look like this system has anything different to offer us. I can't believe how far from center I am. And why? Where'd that B planet go? Alright, I'll take that O. No, I won't take that one. I had a B planet or a B system selected, and I can't. Alright, there we go. And probably all the ships I'm looking for was in that first system I had targeted and decided not to go to. That's my luck. And I'll never know because I didn't go to that system. Oh my goodness. It was a hidden planet. I thought it was sending me to the planet right there. No, we get to fly for another minute. These are times I kind of wish I had a audio trigger for the Voot Cruiser so Gur could sing his Doom song. Just something to fill in the dead time. Doom 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 doom. Name this planet Arizona. Because it's an ugly desert. Decaying nuclear planet. Radioactive dust storms. Oh, it's Nevada. So it's not Phoenix. It's not Arizona. Rather, it's Nevada. And there comes close to the original Samus ship. It's got the original color for the hull, but the windshield decided to be orange. And the Nimbus 2000. Part of that rare ship file that it's hard to come by. Speaking of rare, I haven't seen the Flying Magic carpet come in for landing. Haven't even seen the Flat Earth at all. And we only saw Starman once. So what gives? Puddle Jumper. Reaper's taking off. Samus, and the Zim's Voot Cruiser. TIE Interceptor. And that's it. Aha, finally. And there's a Falcon Flyer. Another throwback to some Nintendo stuff. The eyes are procedurally matched to the glow effects. So they come in different colors, but they should always match to the same color. We got the Nimbus. And Tristan. So we're looking for 8 more, I think. Yep, 8 more ships. There's the hopper. Alright. That makes 7. 7 on the list. 7. 7, 7, 7. 7. And Kershak's hopper got a little bit of an overhaul since version 1. In version 1, these plates just did not look right. That carried over into version 2. Finally, version 3, the ship was given an overhaul in midst of all the adjustments that all these ships undertook. And so I fixed that display a little bit. Well, that's interesting. Some ships are circling out there. Which tells me there's something out there. Are you kidding? That's another trade station? Wow. That's fairly close. I don't think I can get both in the same shot though. Yeah, no. Where'd it go? No, it wasn't this far out. There it is. Now I might be able to get them both. Yep. Cool. All right. Just a few more. Few more ships. Oh, another 30-second flight. How fun. So after a couple hours without vanilla ships, I still have not found all 64 of my ships. Now if I actually had vanilla ships in the generation as well, along with my ships, this would probably take about 10 times as long. And I found all of those already. The HGX really likes that orange color. Orange, red. They do come in blue, purple, but they're softer colors that the normal ships, the normal vanilla ships use, not the bright colors like I used for Samus's ship. Now finally, we got the flat Earth model. We have it's the firmament, yeah, whatever. The moon and sun rotate just as flat earthers believe they do. I made the texture on the sun scroll around, and I made the sun spin, as well as the moon makes one revolution or one rotation each revolution to kind of simulate the tidal lock effect that the moon actually has. And if you notice, the space map on the dome is slowly moving. One thing about this model is when it takes flight, the jet trails are actually located inside the sun and the moon. So as it's flying around, those jet trails will orbit and circle each other. It's kind of trippy to watch. Mike Queen, thank you for joining the stream, and it wants to know when I'm going to be releasing 3.0. It will be very soon. Coming down to the last few ships, testing, make sure that everything spawns correctly. Then I'll be making my alternative optional packs over the next couple days, and I should have version 3 released by the end of the week. as stated in the description, I hope to have it out by the 15th. And there's a lot new stuff to look forward to in 3.0. The flat Earth model that we just saw is not a normal ship. It's actually going to be part of a non-ship proc file. It contains 8 different models, and they each have an eighth of a chance of being spawned if the game selects their category, which is the frequency of an exotic. So the non-ships will rarely show up. They'll be fairly difficult to find. Unfortunately, that does include the Starman model. The Starman model is a car. It's not a ship, so it's in the non-ship category. And this is the X-Ghost. Another one of the few left on my list. So now I'm looking for the Krant, Corbin's Taxi, Tailspin, Air Pirates, a Tecmoc, which is a custom-made ship, and my Flying Magic Carpet. Mike says, I use cheat engine speed hack when ship hunting, 10 times game speed. Can't wait for the pigs in space we talked about. That's actually a really good idea. I didn't think about using the cheat engine to speed up the game, or change the amount of spawns or anything like that. I just kind of tailored my generation so it excluded vanilla ships. And yeah, I'm really debating on excluding some of the lists that I've already verified all 8 generate from. Another trade station over there. Some ships circling out in the distance. The Silent Raider and the X-Wing. Both those are already available in version 2. Actually, I think everything flying around over there is available in version 2. And there goes Spock. Okay, I'm going to try reload one more time. See if maybe I can't get them to get the game to spawn in the Krant. The Krant is a pretty big ship. It's got procedural colors, glow effects, but it looks like a mini freighter, kind of. It's got 2 front arms or booms, kind of like a hydroplane, and a couple delta wings that branch off out to the side. It's also available from version 1, so I already know it spawns. It's just a matter of waiting for it. We got the Krant, Corbin's Taxi Cab, the Tecmoc, Cartoon Air Pirates, and my Magic Flying Carpet. The X-Ghost, Corsair. And the way the jet trails are up front of the engine on the Corsair makes it look like the front engine's on fire a little bit, or the front of the ship is on fire. Alright, so we're not getting anything new. We're gonna have to take this party elsewhere. The pigs in ship space. I remember talking about that one. That is something I don't think I'm going to ever be able to find a model of. So that would definitely be something I have to make on my own. That's gonna be a little time from now, because I still gotta get acquainted and familiar with Blender to the degree that I can make something easily. I'm able to take a model that, you know, it's already finished or already whole. I can break it apart and separate it. I can modify things. I can change it around. But creating a new model from scratch is something that I'm not comfortable with. I mean, I've done it on a few models. I've done the Flat Earth, I've done the Argon Atom, the Flying Magic Carpet, but starting from scratch is difficult for me. Endo Maru, thank you for joining the stream. Thank you for the compliments, saying the mod looks nice. I just wish I could make this a little bit more exciting than standing around a trade station looking at the ships that we've already seen. I did try to initiate a space battle to try and get the ships to spawn in as police, and that's just not happening on creative mode. I've made several jumps to different systems and I haven't encountered a new battle, so finding the pirates has also eluded me. But we've gotten down I don't know, 56, 58 ships, down to just a few left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ships left. Flying Magic Carpet, that makes 4 ships left. Again, the Flying Magic Carpet's not really a ship, so it's going to be in that exotic, frequency, exclusive, rare category. But the carpet is all wavy, and the Fez Monkey sits on it, and I guess he's your tour guide through the cosmos. His name is Little Chewy. He works for No Man's Sky Mart. And that monkey is actually a vanilla asset, or that's a model inside the game. I made the magic carpet, and I put the monkey from the game onto the carpet. I think the monkey is in the game because of Hello Games' homage to their own game, Dangerous Joe. Alright, so we're looking for 4 more ships out of 64. That's not bad. I'm gonna finish this up and eat me some dinner. I'm a bit sad we haven't seen the Starman again. The Starman showed up at the beginning of the stream. I think it was my second system I went to, and haven't seen him since. And what's annoying is I know I've already seen the cartoon Air Pirates. I just haven't seen it land on a landing pad. Targeted out in space in one of the systems some time ago. Alright. I still haven't gotten my Atlas pass, but I have multi-pass. And no, I'm never going to get tired of that joke. Corbin's taxi cab from Fifth Element with some rotations that have been added to the ship that should have been in the movie. At least that's the way I feel. All that stuff at the back of the ship was stationary in the movie, and it looks like it should have some sort of function like that. The Spectre, if you can see inside the center there, it got some lightning effects going on in there. That ship does use the hollow HUD cockpit because it doesn't really have a visible exterior cockpit, so it's essentially a drone. Mike Queen asks, will the 64 ships be added with the vanilla ships, or will it be separate mods only? I'm going to have a bunch of different pack files for different play types. I will have a master ship gen pack file like version 1 and version 2 had, where it will include vanilla as well as my 64 ships. But because there are 64 ships, and it can be time consuming to find the ones you're looking for, I'm gonna have different flavors of that ship generation. So there will be one like this where it's only my ships, no vanilla ships. Players are welcome to download more exotics and add that to this mod to enhance the frequency of finding the non-ships. Maybe they want to find the Starman model, or the Flying Magic Carpet, or the Nimbus 2000. The more exotic mod will help raise the frequency of those ships, making it easier to find those. I'm going to also be making a separate pack to replace all the hollow HUD mods. Like the Samus ship that I'm flying has the hollow HUD. A lot of players are not feeling that, so I'm gonna replace it and just put in the round canopy fighter cockpit for those ships. So there's still some changes that I want to do, or some things that I want to add before version 3 is ready to go, but they're very minor. That shouldn't take more than a day or two. So I still believe I'm on track for somewhere right around the 14th or 15th. It'd be nice to get this out for Pi Day. And that's March 14th. I'm a hardcore nerd like that, so yep, it's a Pi Day. So I think it's time to head on to the next. Actually, I'm going to reload. See if maybe we can get lucky. We're only looking for 3 more. And the Air Pirates, and the Tecmoc. Rick and Morty. Starwing. Oh, the Astro Man. I haven't seen that one in a little while. The Astro Man's kind of homage to both the heavy metal as well as the Starman, because it's a C1 or a first generation Corvette, just like the movie Heavy Metal. I took the astronaut from the vanilla files and stuck him in the driver's seat, repositioned him so his arms gripping the steering wheel and the shift knob. And yeah, I called him Astro Man because it's the little astronaut inside the car. And it definitely has an older retro theme, whereas the Starman has a new, modern, almost futuristic theme because of the sleek curves that the model has. And this one looks to be a dark blue color. And it's got the vanilla astronaut. I think that's what we were supposed to look like at one point. And then Hello Games said, you know what? It's just going to be easier if we leave the players as whatever they are. And they're like, but what are they? Exactly. Exactly. Oh my goodness, are you kidding me? Straight up and over. We got a Yeti and a Yeti. Nothing really new. Ooh, a cluster of red stars. And of course I gotta pick the only yellow star in all of them. It's probably the yellow star that has all three of these other ships too. This red star is gonna have all of the same. So here, good example of how the icons line up with their representative pieces. You got both the sun or the planet and the moon ahead, as well as the freighters, and they will be respective of where they're at in their placement. If they're above you, the freighters are above you. Below you, they're below you. If they're behind you, they're behind you, and you're going to have to turn around to find them. It's too bad the systems are preset with the ship seeds. It'd be nice if the game was like, oh, I haven't given you this ship in a little while. Let me just go ahead and give it to you. Instead, there's 20 ships per system, and you gotta keep system hopping to find them all. But hey, I guess Pokemon Go, you gotta get up and walk around, so Could be worse. The Kremet, built from a bunch of different vanilla parts: freighter, fighter, hauler, and it's got functional landing gear. The cockpit is actually part of the vanilla files. It's a fighter cockpit C, and it's not quite finished. It has poor textures. No, actually it has no texturing. But yeah, I don't know if that's something that Hello Games was making and decided to give up, if that's something they're going to finish. Maybe that's going to be a new cockpit in the next update. That'd be kind of cool. It doesn't quite look like that. I added the side wings and doubled the cannon at the front, but I mean, it looks like a sleek futuristic helicopter canopy with a single gun on the nose. Mike Queen says Red Moss made some nice mods that used that Mike used with my mod. One makes larger trading platforms with more landing pads. That's pretty cool. I can see that could easily be done. And I know Red Moss. I didn't know he made something that did that. I'm more familiar with his exocraft work and his alternative ships mod, which is kind of like that Kremet that was there, in the fact that it uses vanilla assets, reshaped, resized, rescaled, reskewed, whatever, to create a different design. And that actually involves creating procedural files. So my hat's off to him. That's a bit complicated. It's not the most difficult thing, but it's not easy at the same time. Come on, last three. My holocom ship. Haven't seen this one for a little while. This one actually has the engines rotating for VTOL, just like the exotic class that the engines came from. And now that I've learned how to do that, I can actually add some more VTOL ships into the game. So, finally add the Osprey to version 4.0 maybe. We're seeing some ships that we haven't seen in a little while, but we're not seeing any new ships. So I think I'm gonna go try that yellow star system, because it probably does have all three. Now where was it? Was it? No, it was right there. Right? No. This one. Yes, this one. Mike says, I have alternate S-class ships, Civilization, Big Buggy, No Night, Cockpit Cloak, Higher Ships Class, or Higher Ships Class Chance, Hyperdrive Upgrade, Ringed Planets, Solid Traders, Alternate Hauler Ships, MorShips. They all run fine at the same time. That's good to know. I know the Cockpit Cloak mods conflict with some of my ships, mainly the ones that use the custom models, like the Hollow HUD, the Millennium Falcon, the YT-2400, the TIE Fighters, the Voot Cruiser. I think that's about it. And the Higher Ships Class Chance, I got mixed feelings about that one. I mean, my hats are off to anybody who wants to try modding, and I encourage people to mod. I think the inventory table is a great mbin file to start modding in, because it's a singular file that you can modify by itself without having to edit any relational or other files that tie with it. However, the inventory table is what I made my Side, Smile, and Crispy mod out of back in Pathfinder, long before the Higher Ships Class Chance mod was a thing. So I kind of feel like the guy did the same thing I did. But it's not exactly the same thing. He changed the chances of finding higher ships without totally flipping the chances. I mean, my Side mod keeps the chances pretty much vanilla, and my Smile and Crispy completely flip them. It makes the S-Class really easy to find. You probably won't find C-Class. And then there's the adjustments to the stats and the inventory tables and things like that as well. So they're not the same mods, but they kind of feel like the same mods. Why are you guys all circling one landing pad when there's an entire trade station over here? Oh well, it doesn't matter. There's nothing new over there anyways. Oh. Yay, finally. There's one of the three I'm looking for. This is the cartoon Air Pirate, or Air Pirate for short. That's what they're called in Tailspin. The gang is called Air Pirates. So this is an Air Pirate. They do come in different colors, but they're all fairly a stone-based color. So they're all light pastelish color, but they do have some small variety in their colors. And the Nighthawk, well, this used to be the Nighthawk, and after upgrading and adding all the red glow effects, I've changed it to the Night Stalker. It just feels like it's a more fitting name for the ship. And that was back in MorShips, back in Pathfinder. but it was a lot more simple. It was all black, no red. It was named the Nighthawk in homage of the F-117 Nighthawk. And now after adding all that red glow to it, it just looks more like somebody is stalking its prey. So I named it the Night Stalker. That is, Night Stalker is in stalking the prey, not Richard Ramirez, the crazy bastard from the 80s. Alright, so now that we've knocked that out of the list, we're looking for the Tecmoc. And the Tecmoc and the Krant. So 2 ships, the Tecmoc and the Krant. The Krant is probably one of the largest fighters that I have in the mod. Part of version 1. And the Tecmoc is actually featured in my channel. I did a Blender stream where I worked on the Tecmoc and got it prepared and ready for game. Well, I've already reloaded here, so it's on to the next system. At least I found 1 ship here, so that's better than nothing. Let's try, no, I need more than 1 planet. Krant and Tecmoc, please be in the system. That planet on the right has a really cool looking moon in front of it. Very small, very blue. Maybe it's Pandora. So Mike, do you have any favorite ships from the current MorShips, version 1 or version 2? And what's your favorite that you've seen from version 3? Which one are you most excited for? More of the same, it's all the same. Finding ships gets pretty hard, especially when looking for S-Class. Took me ages to find a Galactica S-Class ship. Yes, that is true. You can mix and match mod packs and make it a bit easier. You know, if you're looking for an S-Class ship, you want to make it really easy. You want some good stats. You know, crispy mod. Almost every ship is going to be S-Class. It's going to be 48 slots every ship in Crispy. Smile will go up to 48 slots, but not every ship is 48. Some of them will be less. It's a luck game at that point. So if you still enjoy the hunt, you know, Smile probably be better than Crispy. But they enhance your inventory. They make it easier to find S-Class. They adjust the stats. They adjust the prices. So the ships are a little bit more affordable. Oh, I don't know how set you are with using higher ships class chance, but if not, try checking out the Smile or Crispy. And sitting up here, it looks like I need to resize my Reaper. It is too small. Yes, there is quite a delay in chat, as well as my delay in picking up what has been said in chat. So I've got my own personal delay, and then I think there's a 15-second delay on the video. A couple Pfizers coming in, along with the Shuttle Type 9. And the Shuttle Type 9's gotten new skid effects, new glow effects on the skids. Just trying to give them a little bit more character. You like the broom, but it has the hollow HUD. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of flack for the hollow HUD. And that's why I'm going to provide an alternative option to just take the round canopy fighter cockpit and throw that in all of the ships that I'm using my custom hollow HUD. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's going to be over a dozen ships. And I've actually repositioned the models so they actually handle a little bit better. I noticed some of them were turning or handling like a horrible freighter or a horrible hauler rather, and it just was not conducive for battle. So I've repositioned all the ships, make sure that they could be summoned with the ship summon. Make sure that they can land in a relatively easy area. There is a bug with these ships, and I actually think it extends to vanilla ships as well. If you initiate a landing from too low of an altitude or too fast of a speed, and the game also picks a landing area that is not 100% suitable for landing, the ship sometimes lands half underground. The cockpit itself can end up underground. So if you're ever in doubt, you know, if you're right on that edge and you're like, oh crap, am I going to be underground if I exit the ship? Use photo mode, and photo mode will let you know if you're going to be underground or above ground, and let you know whether or not you need to reposition and repark your ship. Back to the ships. Mike Queen says there's something about jumping on a broom and magic carpet and warping about the universe that's quite appealing. Thank you, Mike. And that's why I put them in the non-ships category. I think they're fun. You know, they're not immersive to No Man's Sky at all, in the least. But half of this mod is not immersive to No Man's Sky. It's meant to have fun. It's meant to be fun. So I'm glad that the broom is getting some enjoyment. And the magic carpet's one of my personal favorites, simply because it's simple, but it's fun, as well as I actually built the thing up from scratch, aside from the monkey model that I brought in from the game files. But I went on Google and looked up the Aladdin's magic carpet to get the texture. I had to go through the trials and tribulations of finding a configuration for the mesh that actually worked and made the tassels move with the carpet. Baby!
Hey Pumpkin, how's it going?
Thank you, baby.
You're welcome.
Doing good. We got 2 ships left. We're looking for the Krant and the Tecmoc.
Sweet.
And one thing I do know when getting out of a ship is use jetpack to stop from falling underground. Yes, yeah. Not only to prevent from falling underground, but to prevent from being launched off the landing pad too. Especially if you're using the Millennium Falcon. That thing's big enough that sometimes it doesn't want to keep you on the landing pads. Especially at the shelters, I've noticed that. Come on, Krant. Tecmoc. Just the 2 of you. That's all I need. And what's funny is it could, both of the ships could be on one system together, or I could have to go through another 10 more systems before I find a single one of them. Did I say funny? I meant frustrating. Yeah. Yay, I got stuff. Yay, new stuff. I wonder if they're going to have anything new in that side room in the next update. Because they added in that side room in Atlas, but it doesn't really do anything. There's nothing in there. So Mike, if I can ask, what about the hollow HUD do you not like, or do you find annoying? Is it just the concept of the drone heads-up display? Is it the screens don't quite fit on the screen right? The space map, is it too big? I'm just trying to get a general census so maybe I can improve it. Oh, the side room is for the hologram quest. Okay. I've never really used, or I've never really done the hologram quest. I'm still in the middle of that. I think I just met Armidas? Artemidas? Whatever. But yeah, I just met the second guy, so I'm still making my way through the progression. And the squid ships are rare. The squid ships are even more rare than the royal exotics. Um, that's why in my more exotics mod, I actually have an additional pack to change the procedural generation file for the S-class ships so that the squids are more common than the exotics. The downside to it is it does change seed values. So when you find the squid that you like, or somebody posts a exotic seed online that you want, um, they don't work the same with more squids installed. With just more exotics, the seeds will still be fine. The seeds will match to vanilla. It's just the more squids changes things. Nice X-Wing skin. Trimaxian drones. Bunch of Gecks. Come on, Krant. Techmock. Where are you guys? So, the delay in chat finally caught up. And Mike says he thinks the hollow HUD would be fine, but with the screens need to be up the top out of the way. I like to be able to see the ground clearly when searching planets. I like to find crashed ships. I enjoy finding crashed ships as well. I kind of like the hollow HUD for that reason, but I dislike at the same time. Depending on how the game's behaving at the time, if it loads the crashed ship in quick enough, the hollow HUD will give you a nice big ship blip, making it nice and easy to find that crashed ship. If the crash site doesn't get loaded quick enough, it gets loaded behind you, and you don't even see that ship blip at all unless you're using the smaller space map pack file that I've included to present an alternate. The screens themselves, yeah, that's a tough one, man. That's actually the biggest gripe people have about the mod, is when you hop in the ship, all the screens are way out on the far edge, and you can't even see the screens. Half of the screens on the left are cut off, the half the right side's cut off, and once you take flight and you're using your boosters, things start to work out and go back to normal. Actually using your boosters, they get squeezed in too much, and using your pulse drive even more so. That's just a really tough one to get. I've tried my best, and that's it. I suppose I could probably pull the screen away from the camera a little bit, but then I have to make the screens larger in scale to maintain the same aspect. And when I maintain the same aspect and ratio, I'm pretty sure I'm putting in that same effect again. The screens are going to be dependent on position and orientation again. So I tried to do something that the game mechanics just don't support, and I had to do something to work around it the best as possible. I personally like the hollow HUD the way it is, the way I made it, with the big space map. Even the hexagon mesh in the back isn't too bad, but I have removed that from even my own copy. Uh, the space map, I feel like having it enlarged and centered right where the camera is makes it feel immersive, like I'm actually in a HUD. And my inspiration for it was taken a lot from Iron Man, from Tony Stark's setup. The Jarvis, the computer inside the suit, and that's what I was kind of going after. I kind of feel like I got that, but I definitely also can understand how the HUD is not for everybody. It can be frustrating for some, or annoying. You know, 64 ships to choose from. You can just give me the two that I need. That'd be nice. See, that thing's about as wide as the Krant, but that's not the Krant. Here's another fun little ship. Added this one to the non-ships proc. This is, I call it the Ribbon Comet, because it's a bunch of ribbons and it kind of looks like a comet when it's flying. But yeah, just like the broom and the magic carpet and so many of the other non-ships, it's got the hollow HUD mod. So that's why I'm making an alternative pack to replace the hollow HUD with the generic canopy cockpit fighter. Canopy fighter cockpit. Yeah, that one. Suggested to maybe cut down the hollow HUD to 1 or 2 screens, like a basic hollow HUD. The only thing he uses screens for is ship fuel. Yeah, that could be a possibility. A lot of those screens are useless. There's one screen that shows you your shield level, and your 3D model. That's fairly useless. Another one shows you what guns you have currently selected and the ammo that you have left, but your normal game HUD shows that. So really the only ones that I feel are needed are the speed and the timer. The local planet or object that states who identified it or if it's been identified. And you also have that timer in the little planet orb when you're flying around in space. The timer denotes when you're going to get attacked. I think those are really the only two that I use besides the space map. And I also need to add something into the hollow HUD for the pulse drive notification. I'm not sure if you noticed, but when you're in pulse drive, or when you go to initiate pulse drive rather, there's no countdown. You can still hear the audio, but there's no countdown on any screen. So you just got to believe that you're in the middle of countdown and keep holding that button. So if I can get a screen added in there to at least give the countdown, hopefully that might help. So far nobody's complained about it, but I don't think that many people are actually using my hollow HUD mod. And I think it's about time to move on to the next system. I've been finding a lot of trade stations right next to each other all night tonight. We got Rick and Morty leading the pack. Han and Luke are trailing. That's funny. Would only be better if Spock were in there. So, Krant and the Tech Mock. And then I can finally go eat dinner. Oh, 30-second flight. My goodness. Mike, you said you only use the screen for fuel. Which one is that? Okay, that one. Yeah, the one with your speed. The one that's in the lower left corner right now. Flat Earth with the sun that illuminates. So when you actually use the torch to cut through the plasma, you can actually see the detail underneath it. It was meant to be a glow effect, so you could see through it the whole time, but it doesn't always work like that. Yellowish orange. What in the fireworks? Mike asks, are there any freighter models out there? Found larger freighters, but that's about it. I still want my Enterprise. I still want to work on the Enterprise. I did do the Lex, but I haven't been able to fully get it over into a freighter. There's locators and certain things that need to be done to make a freighter work, and I haven't really gotten too in depth with it. I've taken a look at it, I got overwhelmed with it, and I went back to something else. I can't say if I went back to my ships or if I went back to something else. I'm always working on a couple different things. One mod that I'm trying to do is I've taken vanilla ship parts and made a ship vendor, and I'm trying to get it so you can buy my MorShips from him. So you would just go up to him, select the ship that you want, like you kind of select the blueprints that you want from the vendors. You'd purchase it, and your current ship would be swapped out with that one. That's what I want to do, but I haven't had the luck in doing that. And my says flat earthers may now start playing No Man's Sky. Yeah, I'm sure some probably already do, but yeah, I have another video on my YouTube channel where I feature the flat Earth specifically. You know, it's like a minute and a half, 2-minute video where I just talk about the flat Earth model, and I think that's probably the most commented No Man's Sky video I have on my entire channel. It's it got carried away between a couple people who I'm not sure if they are or are not flat earthers, and I'm not sure if they are or are not debating with each other or are agreeing with each other. It's kind of comical. I'm gonna reload. Hopefully they can the game will give us one of these two ships that I'm looking for, because I'm about ready to try to load up my survival mode and check it out. Rayrod's mod actually has ship swappers that are already in the build menu. So you'd go in here and you would select the ship swapper category you want. He's got lore category, which is like the pre-order ships, the E3 freighter, the Sentinel drone and Sentinel fighter that have been turned into flyable ships. He's got my Krishak hopper in the lore category, and I'm hoping that the holocom ship, my Kremet, and the HGX will also be able to fit into the lore category, because most of my ships are in his non-lore category. But I don't quite think he has a ship buying station. I do know that there's a oversight in the mod where you can purchase the ships from a vendor or like the auction house, the terminal, the sales terminal. Uh, but it's not quite the same thing. It doesn't actually give you the ship. It just puts an item in your inventory for the ship. So I don't know. Maybe it's a keychain, I guess. But yeah, I definitely like how Rayrod has included all the ships in the ship swappers, regardless if he spawns them or not in the AI spaceship manager file. The only downside to that is if it's spawned through the AI spaceship manager, like these are, then you have the chance of getting an S class with 48 slots or, you know, something good. In the case of the ship swapper, we haven't figured out how to get a inventory better than Class C. I've been able to figure out how to make it 48 slots, but I can't make the class any better. I can't make the stats any better. So it's like the ship swappers, they get you the ship, but they don't get you the ship in the quality that you want the ship, if that makes sense. Oh, come on, just give me the Krant. Please. There's a nice shot of the ribbon comet flying around. The jet trail fits really nicely inside there and makes it look like a comet. And I kind of want to fly this thing around, so hopefully this has some good stats. Yeah, I'll take it. What? Didn't I learn a gun tech from the yeah, I learned a gun tech from Polo. What the heck? Teaching me the same thing I already know. Alright. On to another system. So this is the cockpit that I will make available in lieu of the hollow HUD for players that opt to have a non-hollow HUD cockpit. Mike says, I would like to upgrade a ship with parts, bigger inventory, launch cost reduction, hyperdrive distance, etc. Like find rare unique parts from pirates or traders. I agree. I'd like to see some sort of build a ship type thing where, you know, like you're going around finding blueprints in space stations, and nanites are way overpopulated on planets. You know, every piece of damaged equipment you search has nanites. The stuff that you used to get blueprints from interacting with, you know, like the warehouses and the manufacturing centers, they they now give nanites. So I mean, everything's gonna give nanites. Why why not change it up a little bit? Let's do ship parts. I got a blueprint for this wing or for this cockpit or this nose, and after I've learned enough blueprints, I've got a builder back in my home base that can build me my ship. That would be cool. So the moon looks like a miniature version of the planet itself. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. Especially being the same color as the rest of the system. But of course it's red, so that's uncommon. Not quite sure where those guys were going, but they look like they were on a mission. The Yeti. So this planet looks pretty bleak. This system is going to be slow in spawning ships. Just keep reloading a few times. And going back to the ship discussion, sounds great for endgame content. A ship mechanic who builds new ship parts for blueprints. They could have a ABC class system for parts also. That would be pretty cool. They kind of already have a system for parts. Some players have already started to notice that certain parts have certain inventory entities tied to them. Like the fighters, for example, the ones that have the big pylons on the sides that kind of make them look like a hydroplane. Those are usually always large inventory size. So I know that depending on what parts are used, yeah, there's definitely an effect given to the ship. So if the parts had a class of their own, that'd be pretty cool. I'm not sure about a class, maybe a rating system, like a point system, something 1 through 10, and the more points it has, the higher it adds, and that's what actually elevates your stat percentage. And then when you breach a certain percentage, you elevate your inventory into the next class. So if you had a plus 10 nose, plus 10 cockpit, plus 10 hull, plus 10 engine, plus 10 wings, plus 10 sub wings, and you maxed out your score, you should have almost 100% stats, S class, that sort of thing. If you've just put together 2 and 3 point parts, and maybe you've got one good part that's like 8 points, then you're probably going to be sitting in the B class range. That would actually be pretty cool. It'd also be pretty cool if Hello Games considered player feedback. But it seems like they have their own agenda. They have their own plan and things that they want to do. And that's what they're going to do. Players don't like it, they can go play a different game. Little Chewy. This system's too slow for me. Ow. Oh, one planet system. And I thought the last one was too slow. Awesome. Whoa! That almost kind of looked like Earth for a second. The way the clouds are shaped around the blue. Wow. That's really cool. I like this system even more if it has the Krant and the Tecmoc in it. Here's another moment where the cheat engine would come in handy. Bino Boga. Show me the Krant or the Tecmoc. Hey, the Krant. Awesome. Now if I could just get the Tecmoc, be set. Hey, look, it's the Tecmoc. So that's it. Found the last two in the last system. So this is the Tecmoc, the one I did a stream in Blender for. In part 1, I got the mesh ready for export. In part 2, I added all the eye candy and the visual effects. And in part 3, I actually tested it in game. And where's that Krant? No! I'm counting it. You were on the deck. You had landed. So this is the Krant. It's already in the version 1, version 2, procedurally colored, giant looking beast. And that is it. That was the last ship. Finally done. Now tomorrow I will make the rest of the pack files, update my documentation, and hopefully this mod will be out in 48 hours. So yeah, still on track for Pi Day, guys. Alright, well that's it. I want to thank you guys for tuning into the stream. Mike, thank you for chatting and being interactive with me, keeping things going. You guys have a good night. I hope you enjoyed the video.